The episode that is nearest and dearest to my heart is the pilot, first episode. It depicts his anxiety about starting this experience, which is such an unknown. It's universal for every fourth-year medical student one day. Next year, the intern, and people are calling you, "Doctor, what is the answer? What do we do?" And you're no different than you were the day before.
Necrosis and infected stool most likely indicate what, Dr. Dorian?
The deer in the headlights, that gag, was always funny on paper. But when we did it, it was like we were in tears. It was hysterical.
Us in college, me with my flat top, Zach with his mullet. That's pretty cool though, man. I mean, because I did have a flat top like that.
There was one episode where I had to say, like, "I told you so" at the end of a scene, and he was like, "You know what, don't say I told you so, just do an I told you so song and dance."
This is what I like to call my told you so dance. I told you so, 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 I told you so.
That's probably the first and the last time, actually, that I've ever sang on the show. Anytime that there's a musical episode, I'm conspicuously absent.
We did a musical Scrubs the first year. We had to put the surgeons and medical people against each other. We decided to do it like West Side Story.
There's an episode where JD and Carla have developed a relationship.
Give me that, Bambi. That's not a toy.
Look, my name is not Bambi, okay?
And their relationship gets strained by the fact that he's a doctor, she's a nurse. And they have like a really strong moment at the bus stop in the rain.
You're a doctor, and you think that you're better than me because of it.
Carla, I do not think...
Admit it right now, I'll never respect you again.
Okay, sometimes that's true.
I like the one where I come onto the floor, the ICU, and everybody who's alive, when I come on, I want them to be alive when I leave.
Listen up. I have been cursed to work the night shift with you chuckleheads, which means if you screw up today, I'm gonna hit you hard, I'm gonna hit you fast.
It's really Sarah's episode. Our writers really found her character and didn't make her a cute little girl anymore, but this really unbelievably vibrant young woman. And there's this great moment in it where Sarah's walking past camera and Cox taps her on the shoulder and tells her to come here. And it's just great shot. If a movie director was here shooting it, it wouldn't have been any better.
What part of don't say it did you not understand? Was it the don't, or was it the say it?
Oh, and I like help me help you to Sarah. That's the end of a scene.
Help me to help you. Help me to help you, Barbie. Help me to help you. Help me to help you. Help me to help you.
Help you. Help me. Help you. Help me to help you.
I should get to work.
That would be lovely.
One of my favorite moments from the first season is when Adrian Wenner was annoying Elliot and going whack 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 whack, and that was totally spontaneous on the set. I think we just in the script it said does something annoying to Elliot, and we were doing that in the writers' room for weeks.
If you're not gonna help, get the hell out of my face and just go wait for your trust fund to mature.
Dr. Reed, can I see you a minute?
Dr. Kelso, I am so sorry.
We should not talk about the first year without speaking of my old lady, right?
Are you a good doctor?
God, too soon to tell. For me, that was the first real emotional episode that we had done that really touched a lot of people's hearts. And of course, you know, I happened to be in the episode in a fantasy.
Elliot became powerful, and Turk bonded with the patients in a way that he never had before, and JD sort of got through his first death, and she was okay with dying, and she sort of helped him, made him evaluate his life.
That episode was directed by Mark Buckland, and it won a Humanitas Award.
Find her.
We had to go out into the parking lot and actually jackhammer a hole into the asphalt and dig a trench for her to emerge out of, and she comes out of the hole with her walker, you know, and that's when I realized this show is like completely different from anything I've been part of, you know.
One of my favorite things about Scrubs is that even though it's a comedy, it really takes the time to slow down and deal with real issues, either in relationships or, you know, with the realities of working in a hospital.
So we had an episode where we had to kind of live through and foreshadow JD and Elliot's romance, coming together, breaking up. We keep going back to the day that they spend their day in bed together, and they keep eating pizza, so the pizza becomes like a clock. The wheels are going down. it was a very inventive show where a shrink had been called in to talk to all of the doctors about their life. And of course, as they do it, a lot of interesting things get revealed.
Relationships are so fragile. It just takes one thing, one tiny little offense, and it can snowball on you.
And it was very interesting. At one point, we had talked about, in order to get the show down, to cut it down. And I really admired Bill when he said, I'm not going to do this to the actors. They nailed these things, they worked hard on them, and I'm not going to cut them up and not keep them intact. So we still haven't been able to cut it down, because we still have to cut shows down in the end. And during the end of the first summer, we did a rerun of all the shows, and that one didn't get into the arc because we had a long show on our hands.
I've always been so sure about everything in my life. I was sure that I wanted to be a doctor, and I was sure that I was going to be married by the time I was 25. But relationships, I always heard that when they were right, they were easy. That even when things got hard, that they were easy.
I wonder what she looks like.
Why am I always in your fantasies?
We've had some unbelievable guest stars and cameos on the show.
I know he's got an unorthodox way of doing things. Now, everybody deserves a second chance. Am I right?
I say J.J. Walker was
I know, I was just
big.
thinking.
Who are you?
When you get to bring in these kind of pop culture, TV icons that we grew up with, it was exciting.
I miss Jimmy Walker, man. For a while, I got a sense that Jimmy Walker was gonna be like my sensei.
You got a problem, man.
The fact that Carrot Top would come on and be a fantasy of what the world's most annoying person could be made me laugh.
All right, welcome to the ICU!
Brendan's my #1 draft pick. Brendan Fraser. He was terrific.
You usually get uncomfortable hugging a guy right about now.
Bring it, baby.
Brendan can do the show under one condition. He said, I want to do a 2 episodes so I can actually come up with a character.
Me so cranky!
Well, I'm not just playing Brendan Fraser, playing some swashbuckling version of himself.
You're a little weird, aren't you?
Just a little bit.
To have John Ritter on the show was awesome.
Dad? Hey, Mr. Dorian.
Hey, boys, what's shaking?
And so when I met him, and he knew my name, it was kind of cool. He was like, Donnie, which I don't like to be called, but the fact that John Ritter called me Donnie, the dude who, in my eyes was the best, physical comedian on television I'd ever seen.
There's a little moment in the cafeteria, JD's dad, where he's stolen Jell-O.
Yes.
That's his different. He just comes and kind of places it on the table.
How you doing, Elliot?
When John Ritter was on, I liked it when he had Zach pull his finger and he farted.
It was never written in the script. He just really had to fart. And it's on camera for everybody to see. It makes me laugh.
Pull my finger.
I'm not gonna pull your finger.
Pull my finger, see what happens. I pooed a little.
Sean Hayes was nice enough to come in and play the Golden Boy intern that JD was competing with.
Hey man, how are you? Hey, how are you? Oh, okay. There that is.
The best thing about it is all these characters were people that came because they knew us and liked the show.